you had Malik Willis at 6 for Carolina. Yeah. Boy, that would be so monumental that Carolina, with their one draft choice in the first 2 nights of the draft, uses it on a quarterback, let alone somebody with a huge upside, but obviously not enough experience to throw in, one would think, this year. Walk me through why you think that, what you're hearing about, and your evaluation of the quarterbacks writ large, Charles.
In large part, Rich, I'm kind of taking a general manager, in this case Scott Fitterer, at his word. And that doesn't mean anything this time of year, right? I mean, look, we all play liar's poker, okay? And you should. You don't tell the world everything you know. But I thought he was somewhat. I don't think he was being disingenuous a few weeks ago. You remember that presser, Rich, when he said at a certain point you have to take a shot in the top 10 to try and get that quarterback? Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that you always do it. You've got to have as good education. I mean, he went to a number of things, but I thought that sentence was telling to me. And so again, as you're doing a mock draft, an offensive tackle makes sense for them there. You know, can they help? Can they help with other positions? Obviously. But I put Willis there as opposed to Kenny Pickett, who is the top-ranked quarterback in this draft, for this reason. Oftentimes when things haven't worked out the way you've wanted to, you go a little bit opposite of what you've had before. Kenny Pickett in play style is very similar to Sam Darnold. Doesn't mean Kenny Pickett won't have more success than Sam Darnold, but play style, stature, very similar. Willis looks a lot like what Matt Rule had to deal with in college when he was at Baylor and Temple. And that's what drives coaches crazy. That extra mobility, the quarterback run game, the RPO action, all those things. So I kind of went opposite. And again, there is a little bit of element of can you distinguish your mock draft from someone else's? And that was part of it. And I'll leave it with this, Rich. I've told people this, and I will take the lie detector test. All right, I will be like in Ocean's 11 when he had to pass it, to get through and make sure that he could work. And he's stepping on the tack all the time to make sure the answers got messed up. I will take it clean. My first 4 mock drafts before I submitted one, I didn't have a single quarterback in the first round. And then I realized that was just unrealistic in today's NFL.
Right.
I had to come back and try and find spots for people.
Well, and it is a remarkable aspect of this draft. You know, we're always focused on quarterbacks, Charles, and last year we had 5 in the first round. That Mayfield, where he winds up, might be determined by who gets which rookie quarterback in this draft, right? If Seattle gets Desmond Ridder, they might be less likely to go get Mayfield for this year. If Carolina does get anybody 6th overall, that would probably dry up a spot for Mayfield there. If both Seattle and Carolina get one, I have no idea where Mayfield winds up. None. Zero.
It's a great point. And think of this, Rich. We're going to be sitting with our buddy and colleague David Shaw, the head coach at Stanford.
Yes.
Who does such a terrific job. Was his 10th straight year doing the draft with you. We're going to be sitting with him on opening night, and we're going to be talking about these quarterbacks. His quarterback last year, Davis Mills, remember how much fun we had when he went in the 3rd round to Houston?
Yeah. And
now he is their starter? If he had stayed in school, Rich, I firmly believe we'd be talking about him at the top of this quarterback draft this year. He would be the number 1 quarterback off the board. Because he went in the 3rd round last year because he had, 11 starts in college? I think if he had stayed, played throughout this one, we'd be talking about Davis Mills. And again, that's another place now that Houston, I don't think, is in the quarterback market. So Baker Mayfield trying to find a spot. As you mentioned, they're drying up, the rookie quarterbacks who were drafted. I do think that Davis Mills coming out last year also affected this year's draft.
Well, for sure. I mean, and then the Texans have a couple of first-rounders now because guess what? The Cleveland Browns took Deshaun Watson, leaving Mayfield looking for a spot. It really is amazing how drafts intertwine, and obviously from year to year, and obviously with what's going on in real time for an NFL season and part of the talent evaluation and roster building. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.